All right. Well, I am here with the great Arthur Hill. Arthur, thank you so much for taking some time to sit down with us and talk about your plugin and ACP. We're so excited to have you as part of this new product, and it's great to sit down with you. I'm excited that we have you in the launch event here as well. So thank you first and foremost. I'm sure that there's not too many people out there who don't know you and don't know your story and your background and all the things that you've been up to for a great long career. But for anyone who doesn't know you, I mean, I'd love to just start by, a brief background of who you are, what you're doing with Trend Investor Pro, especially exciting stuff over there. So if you want to just give us a quick overview of who you are and what you've been up to, that'd be great.
Sure. Thanks for the great introduction, Grayson. Appreciate it. I am Arthur Hill, a CMT Chartered Market Technician, and I also have a website, trendinvestorpro.com. And there I track mostly ETFs, and I have a systematic approach using breadth models that have been back tested for broad market timing. And I think the big standout from trendinvestorpro.com is I just don't have a list of ETFs ranked by index, sector, industry group. I rank them according to their different chart patterns and their chart strength every week and put them in a chart book that makes it easy to follow which ETFs are in which situations, which are breaking out. Because usually ETFs and stocks for that matter, you can group them by patterns and trends more than by sectors and industry groups.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those sectors and industry groups, or the industry groups will fit together, like all the technology related will be together. But yes, that's trendinvestorpro.com.
That's fantastic. I've always loved your work because you hit on it right there with a couple of the things you said. I've always thought that your work is incredibly easy to follow, but incredibly powerful at the same time and systematic. I mean, when I think of you, I think of someone who's incredibly systematic in what they do. So I'm just thrilled that we're working with you. Now, Trend Investor Pro has really kind of been the driving force for this plugin. So I'd love to dive in and have you just kind of tell us generally about your plugin, the Trend Investor Pro plugin on StockChartsACP. Maybe what's included. There's some fantastic indicators in there. So maybe a quick overview of the indicators that are in there, and just how you created it, how we got here. Love to hear the story of the new plugin.
Sure, I'm really excited about this plugin because over the years you think of different indicator combinations, or you see an indicator maybe that needs a tweak. And with this ACP plugin, I've given the chance to actually create some indicators that I do think add value to the analysis process. And that they're grouped in three different areas. First, you have trend following indicators.
Okay.
Then you have mean reversion indicators. And then you have volatility related indicators. And so it's not a complete suite, it's just 10 indicators, but these indicators can tell you different things, if the market is trending or not, which stocks are trending, which stocks turned up first, which stocks are pulling back for potential mean reversion opportunity, and also the all-important volatility question. We're not just using the VIX and the VXN, I'm using a twist on the high-low range and the average true range to measure volatility.
That's fantastic. No, it's exciting too, because when we pair that plugin and the indicators that are included in it with your show on StockCharts TV, and the fact that you're putting out content and explaining how to use these things, actively showing people how you're using them to watch the market. I mean, that's where I think these plugins are so powerful. And your show is just one of my favorites that we do on StockCharts TV. So, I think that personally, one of the big benefits that someone gets out of your plugin is this opportunity to actually watch you use it with the show on StockCharts TV. I'd love to hear your thoughts too on what you think a chartist can sort of really get out of adding this plugin to their ACP experience. What are the benefits that they can look forward to in adding the Trend Investor Pro plugin?
Well, one of the benefits really became apparent in March when we had, there was a couple of events happening. First of all, you had this big uptick in volatility as we had that big decline.
Right.
And then as we came out of the March low, you saw volatility peak and come down. And that decline in volatility was captured in a couple of the volatility indicators. And now these volatility indicators are at very low levels, below
Hmm.
They're what I call bearish thresholds, because I think low volatility is
Yeah.
quite positive. And then when we were coming out of that March low, you could see which stocks were making their first trend reversal signals
Hmm.
in April. Amazon and Netflix and some of these other ones were making trend reversal signals using the trend composite, which goes from -5 to +5. And so they were turning +1, +3 as they were starting to get these trend following signals that are used in the trend composite.
Yeah. It's interesting that volatility is such an important part of your plugin because I think for a lot of people, they know that they need to be considering volatility, but I think a lot of people just think of it at the highest level. They say, I watched the VIX and I know where it's trading, so I'm done. I don't have to think about volatility anymore. I have the whole picture. But you're kind of going deeper and bringing it into individual securities, which is so cool with the plugin. I love that you're doing that. So, I'd love to hear, Arthur, two things. Your first impressions of ACP, what you thought when we brought this out. I mean, you've been using stock charts for a long, long time. I'd love to hear kind of what your overall impressions of ACP have been so far, and also how ACP and the plugin specifically are enhancing your use of stock charts overall more generally. What are your thoughts there?
Well, yeah, with the ACP, I think it's really easy to create a chart list and then just scroll through that chart list
Hmm.
very easily,
Yeah.
just ticker by ticker, and then
Yeah.
I can see those indicators. Of course, I'm kind of biased on these trend composite indicators and such, but I could easily see going through the Nasdaq 100 stocks which ones were turning up the fastest.
Yeah.
And with the ACP, you can easily, scroll in, scroll
Hmm.
out if you want to see a bigger time frame just by using the mouse wheel and
Yeah.
scroll in. And then another thing is RSI. The RSI is down from 0 to 100, but
Hmm.
with the ACP, I like to go over to the right-hand side and expand that scale so I can get
Yeah.
more detail, granularity in RSI and have it say range from 40 to 70, which is where most of the action is.
Yeah. I love that you're bringing up those interactive features. I mean, those are absolutely at the top of my list of what makes ACP special, and what makes it really kind of separates it from other things that we've had on the site, and just makes it a great tool. So that's great to hear. I love to hear your use of RSI specifically. Like you're saying, being able to adjust sort of dynamically the y-axis is a fantastic feature. That's great to hear.
Absolutely.
Arthur, you've been working with us for so long. We've been working with you for so long. You've seen stock charts evolve in so many different ways. And you've been really at the start of everything that we've ever done. I mean, articles, we started wanting to do more commentary. You're at the start of that. We started wanting to do video content with Stock Charts TV. You're at the start of that. Now ACP plugins, you're one of the first to have an ACP plugin. I'd love to hear your thoughts on just kind of what the relationship with stock charts means to you, and how this is kind of evolving it, and what you're excited about with this sort of new step in partnering with us, working with us. Love to hear more about that.
Well, I was very honored to be asked to be included in this
Awesome.
first round of plugins
No question.
because, I'm up there with folks like Larry Williams,
That's
who also has a plugin as well.
Yeah.
So being able to be part of that launch, as ACP grows is
Hmm.
very flattering to be invited into that. And
Yeah.
also to see, your indicators and then other people's indicators that are going to be coming up over the next few weeks and months. See some
Yeah.
new ideas coming out there.
Yeah. No, it is fantastic. It's been so cool to work with, people like yourself that say, or Larry's another great example, who say, I've had these ideas for years and I've never really had a platform that allows me to get my ideas out there and put them somewhere and build an indicator and work with someone to have it into a platform. So it's been fantastic to work with you guys, and to sort of bring some of those ideas that have been off on a scrap of paper somewhere on the side of the desk for years, and now they're really coming to life. That's been a great aspect, I think,
Yeah.
of this.
And Dave Landry's, he has a
Yeah.
free plugin. So I'd recommend people go and check out that one.
Yeah.
Dave is a great analyst, trader,
Oh yeah.
and author.
Yeah. No, his stuff is very cool too. And just like you, a lot of sort of simple technical analysis. It doesn't have to be the most
True.
complicated chart that you're ever going to see. It's kind of, back to basics in a lot of ways, which I always love. I think that's the best way to chart. Keep it simple. So Arthur, this has been fantastic to hear from you, to get some perspective on your plugin. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for just having this plugin. I'm excited to see it continue to evolve over time, and along with ACP and everything that we're doing. If people want to follow you, I know you've got the show, you've got trendinvestorpro.com, but what's the best way to sort of get more Arthur? What do you think?
Well, there are a few ways. I do contribute articles weekly to StockCharts on the Chart Watchers newsletter every other week, and then on Arch Charts. And also Next Level Charting comes out every Thursday at noon, so you can follow me there. And then on Twitter at Arthur Hill. And also there's some free stuff on trendinvestorpro.com, so please come by and say hi.
That's fantastic. Well, Arthur, thank you again for joining us today. It's been great to sit down with you. Looking forward to keeping the conversations going around your plugin. There's so many exciting things happening, and I'm sure this is not the last that we're going to hear from you with more exciting things built into ACP. I'm sure there's more on the way. Hey, Grayson Roze here with StockCharts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're gonna bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.